When I was a little girl, I had a dream. A dream that I would see Grahatia eat a hamburger. And then one day, standing before me was my dream in the flesh. I hope you didn't mind us barging into your room for our late night feast. For what it's worth, it did put me in a world of good. It did me a world of good to put our troubles to one side, if only for a moment. Oh, there you are, feeling refreshed, I hope. I was about to make my way to the studium, as it happens. I wanted to try and speak with Scholark Monteshine and thank him for coming to our rescue in the rostra. As it turns out, he'd come here to see us following the hearing, only to find that we'd already departed for Thavnair. Knowing him, he was probably hoping to chew the cud with his former students. Since we're still waiting for Y'shtola and the others, I thought now the perfect time to pay him a visit. Care to join me? Then it's settled. The twins will be coming too, assuming Alphino can tear himself away from his new toys. I'll let you rally the troops while I go on ahead to Phenomenon. Considering my recent impropriety, perhaps I should avoid showing my face around the studium for a time. That might be for the best. If the others should return, tell them we will not be long. Unlike some of the Scions, I am not an alumni of the studium. As such, I have no acquaintances there I am obliged to visit. And while I would love nothing more than to pore over the many great tomes of Phenomenon, I fear my presence there would stir up more unwanted trouble. So, for now, I will be patient, much as it pains me to do so. Aw, how about you go... How about you go make yourself float and pick up a treat off the top shelf? That'll make you feel better. Oh. My father can master these fiendish contraptions, then so can I. Heading out for a stroll? Yes, would you like to join me? The scholar himself was here. In that case, what are we waiting for? I too am eager to see him, though I somewhat dread the thought of visiting the studium. I dare say our notoriety precedes us. Alphino, of all people, worrying over his reputation. And at our alma mater, no less. Will wonders never cease? You'll understand soon enough. Off we go. It feels like only yesterday that I first walked through these doors. See the sculpted picture above the entrance? That's the mark of Thaliak, the scholar, bearer of the waters of knowledge. It's no exaggeration to say that Charlene itself is one enormous shrine to him, and that's especially noticeable here in the studium. Is that so? Yeah, I guess so. Here it is. Phenomenon. While I expect you made note of it before, one can hardly miss it. This is the first time you've been here on official business, correct? While most of the space is taken up by expensive auditoriums, it also houses numerous laboratories, testing grounds for experimental magics, and a host of administrative offices and so forth. As the center of what would later become the studium, it was established to promote the study of etherological phenomena, hence the name. Though with ether being a fundamental aspect of nature, its scope expanded to include every conceivable facet of life and even the universe itself. And then, in the 432nd year of the 6th Astral Era, Phenomenon was decreed complete, and the studium officially opened as a place of learning. With a long and storied history, it is without question the world's leading authority in etherology, the arcane, the occult, astronomancy, and countless other fields, standing proud as Charlian's foremost educational institute. You always did enjoy giving the grand tour to new students. Indeed, I've long since lost track of how many times he has recited that same foppish speech. Such is his undying love for his old stomping ground. He was in top form back then, youngest to enter the studium, graduated with highest honors in magical arts and etherology, undisputed champion of the debating chamber. Hold on. You both joined the studium at the same age, yes? And from where I stand, you're equally prodigious scholars. Nice of you to say, but Alphino actually entered a half year before me, nor did I do well enough to graduate with honors, and I am certainly not the Studium's most notorious master debater. Oh, be careful how you say that. In all respects, have I ever been in his shadow? If nothing else, just remember that this was where the legend of Alphino Levier began. We should expect everyone to be fully aware of our recent escapades. Hopefully we'll be somewhat more welcome here than we were at the last stand. I know better than anyone the adoration the student body has for Alphino, and with a bit of luck, it might work to our advantage. Oh my god, I hope there's like all the girls that have a crush on him just fawning over him in here. That would be so good. Well, there's no time like the present. First things first, let's look for Scholark Mont to Shine. Other faculty tend to frequent their offices, but unfortunately for us, he's fond of wandering wheresoever his whims take him. Let's split up and ask the students if they've seen him. I want every girl who has a crush on Alphino to be here in the studium and embarrass him to hell. I've never wanted anything more in my life. Ever since I got my Graha burger, this is my new goal. That was Alphino Levier, wasn't it? The Alphino Levier? And he's with his sister and Master Baldassian's granddaughter. This can only mean one thing. An event of epoch-shattering proportions is fast approaching. Spread the word. Oh, sorry. You said you're looking for the Scholark, yes? Knowing him, he could be anywhere. But Miss Aliopo should have a better idea. Oh, look at this little Alphino. Little Alphino Levier come to see his adoring fans. Are you lost? Wandering off street, perhaps? Wait, don't tell me. You're a trainee gleaner fresh off the guild ship. I'm right, aren't I? Oh, how silly of me. An orientation is in order. Ahem. Allow me to bid you a warm welcome to Searcher's Meet. Let me start with a question. What is the most important thing you'll find in the studium? That's right, books. And what's the second most important thing? Why, that's simple. Everything else. That's what we deal with here in Searcher's Meet. Whenever the students or tutors find themselves in need of equipment or materials, they come to us. If we don't have it in our stores, we send the gleaners off to find it. Honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the requests we get. Eye of Paisa this, tongue of Giganto that. It's enough to make your hair stand on end, which is possibly what some of our students are trying to accomplish, this being a school of magic and all. As our newest gleaner, you'll have your work cut out for you, but I think you'll find it quite rewarding. I'm only interested in gleaning. The only thing I'm interested in gleaning is information on the Scholark's whereabouts. I beg your pudding? You're not a gleaner. Then this was all an elaborate ruse. No, wait, come to think of it, you never actually claimed to be one in the first place. My mistake. He was here, but now he's not. I did speak with him shortly before you arrived, though. He said he was on his way to Maker's Meet. Go back the way you came in, and you'll see it on the opposite side of the entrance. It's a laboratory of sorts, home to many rare and expensive curious, not to mention alarmingly frequent accidents. If you lose your way, just follow the blood-curdling screams. Huh. In the time it's taken to tell you all of this, the Scholark has probably already left. Best of luck finding him. I have a feeling you'll need it. This outfit. This outfit. This outfit. Very nice. Yes, the Scholark was here a short while ago. He offered me advice on my current research project. Though we spoke at length, I don't recall him mentioning where he was planning to go next. When we parted ways, he went down the corridor, perhaps to one of the auditoriums. Oh, it's you. I found you. I don't trust this guy, by the way. Just so you know, I don't trust him.
Ah, I remember you.
I pray we have not caught you at an inopportune moment. We wanted to offer our thanks for your kind words in the forum.
Well, I could hardly let that inquisition go unchallenged. I've always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. Thankfully, a majority of my colleagues agreed. A slender majority, aye, but a majority nonetheless.
Had the vote not gone our way, we would be having a very different conversation, if any at all. Though I'd like to think you would have not given up on our cause. I'm told you paid a visit to the Annex afterwards.
Yes, that's right. I was hoping to speak with the grandchildren of my dearly departed friends Galuf and Louisoix in a less dour setting. But it seems I just missed you. I still can't believe how much you've grown. If only your grandsires could have seen the way you presented yourselves to the Forum. Why, it fair brought a tear to my own eye. You must have the patience of a saint, putting up with this lot and their antics. Never mind Matoya's prize student. Luckily, I know a thing or two about managing unruly younglings. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to ask.
If I may, there is a rather more pressing matter we wish to discuss. What can you tell us of this duty that the Forum must fulfill?
Nothing, I'm afraid. Like all humble servants of the Forum, I am sworn to secrecy. Or rather, I couldn't tell you if I tried. Our duty is of the gravest importance. Furthermore, if the particulars were made public, it would incite widespread panic. As such, those entrusted with this duty have been bound by an enchantment, which prevents us from speaking of such matters without the express permission of the Forum.
How is that even possible?
It's been some time since I last gave a lecture. Please, take a seat. We shall begin by reviewing the fundamentals of etherology. The ether, which imbues us with life, can be categorized into three forms. Two are of the incorporeal sort, the soul and the memory. Can anyone tell me the third? Yes, very good. This is the form with which the layman is most familiar. Consumed by even the simplest of daily activities, and replenished by the food and drink that sustain us, this form of ether is in constant flux. In contrast, the ether that comprises the soul is rarely subject to dramatic change. The same can be said for memory, as the two are intrinsically linked. Picture the soul as paper, and memories as words written upon it. Now, what would happen if that paper was doused with ink? The same type of ether as comprises the memories.
It would blot out everything that was written.
Precisely. We would be unable to recall the memories, and any activities that depend upon them would be hindered as well. In fact, this exact phenomenon was observed on a vast scale not so long ago. And what might that have been?
That would have been forgetting the Warriors of Light from 1.0. Right?
The seventh Umbral Calamity. The people of Eorzea vividly recall Bahamut breaking free of the Lesser Moon and raining hellfire down upon the realm. But no one could seem to remember the events that followed immediately afterwards.
Indeed. To this day, we have yet to determine whether it was an unintended consequence or a deliberate act. The enchantment which binds me and the rest of the Forum is based on a similar principle. And yes, it is a contravention of the Sharlayan prohibition against the practice of memory manipulation. Only when a new member is inducted and told of our great duty are they subjected to the process. A necessary evil. You have my word that it would never be used to manipulate the populace?
I don't think I have your word, though, is the thing. I think you're lying to me, is the thing. I think you're going to use it to manipulate the populace, is the thing. Oh, that's not going to be
I should
good.
hope not. But can this enchantment be dispelled and your memories restored?
If 9/10 of our members give their approval, then the process may be reversed. Then, and only then, would we be able to speak freely to others of our sacred duty.
What if they've already manipulated our memories? What if we know something and the Forum made us forget?
Barring that, we must wait until we return to the ethereal sea. For there we will be purified, the blots upon our souls washed clean. And our memories drift apart and dissolve, rather defeating the purpose, I suppose. But there are those memories that are indelibly etched upon our souls, some believe.
What happens after that?
We are reduced to pure ether, coalesce with that of others, and create souls anew. Alternative schools of thought assert souls remain whole and return to the corporeal world, reborn into another form. Both theories have their proponents. Personally, I consider each equally probable. Well, I think that's enough education for today, now that I've given you some food for thought. Or rather, an entire banquet. I would remind you that although I'm unable to assist you with certain matters, the resources at my disposal may still be of use to you. I'll arrange for you all to be given the run of Phenomenon. Of course, as associate to our alumni and the students of Baldessian, this privilege is extended to you as well, my friend.
What if this guy is the one behind whatever the Forum is doing, and he manipulated his memory to forget he's the one behind it? I don't trust him.
Oh, and I suggest you speak with Ki Aliapo. She's well known among the artisans of Sharlayan, and her network of contacts may prove useful in your search for knowledge. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, wheresoever they may take you.
Some of my earliest memories of Scholark Multishine, actually. He was a close friend of... Oh, some of my earliest memories are of Scholark Multishine, actually. He was a close friend of our grandfather. He would come for tea and amaze us with his tricks, much like his demonstration with the paper and ink. He's a huge part of why I wanted to enter the studium in the first place. And he's evil, by the way. While Scholark Multishine is best known for his role as head of the studium, he is said to be one of the finest mages Sharlayan has ever produced, and he uses his magic for evil. Having seen for myself the ease with which he weaves extraordinarily complex and powerful magics, I have no reason to doubt the claim. Well, that's given me much to mull over. I feel as though we're one step closer to understanding the Forum's true motives, and the mysteries of life itself for good measure. It's funny, I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more indebted than before. I have a feeling his friendship and support will be a great boon to us in days to come. And on that note, let's head back to the Annex. Perhaps on the way, you could better acquaint yourself with Ki Aliapo, as a Scholark suggested, while I share our findings with Raha. I'm not going to do the crafting stuff just yet. I will seek you later, Professor Aliapo. Oh. They're talking. The Heavensward brothers are talking. Having spent most of the time in Thabnair, I've yet to fully grasp the lie of the land here in Sharlayan. Even finding my way to the Annex proved a challenge. Estinian returned not long after we departed for the studium. A shame that he missed the chance to attend our lecture with the Scholark, or perhaps not. You'd better not let your guard down around Ki. One small favor becomes another, then another, and before you know it, you'll be running to the other side of the world in search of a bottle of wine or some other rubbish. Then again, it might make for a welcome change of pace from your usual heroics. And as the Scholark said, it could also lead to interesting discoveries. It seems I've done an adequate job relaying Scholark Multishine's lecture to Raha. Given his experiences in the field of souls and memories, he had no trouble understanding it. Welcome back. From what I hear, your trip to the studium proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow Scions. As expected, nudes of the warding skills were met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring the leadership of the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the skills in our possession to Limsolominsa. So the time has come for us to go on the offensive. It's too early to say for certain, but that does seem to be the way the winds are blowing. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan, but let us see what awaits us in Vilbrand. Let's start by getting the skills out of storage. Give me a hand, would you, Estinian? You're the only person here who can reach the top shelf. I didn't realize these crates were so heavy. I shouldn't complain, though. Vircher and the alchemists of the great work put their heart and soul into each and every one of these skills, so you must treat them with the utmost care. Are you not coming with us? As much as I would like to escape the Forum's watchful gaze, I've little choice but to stay behind. We're already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as our official representative, were found to be consorting with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers, as I await word from Master Matoya and our other allies. With luck, we'll soon have good news of our own to share. The tide is about to turn. I can feel it. To Limsolominsa! If you learn not of interest, be sure to let me know. In the meantime, I will do what I can to aid our cause, though I fear that that will be precious little given the circumstances. Oh, the Admiral is at present entertaining the Elder Seedseer in the Sultana. It's girls' night. 3 of the most powerful women in the world in one room. Do you need a moment to prepare, or shall I show you to them? Let's put one of the 4th most powerful women in the room in there. I hope this has voice acting, and I hope it's cute. My apologies for calling you away from Charlian at such short notice. On the contrary, we are honored and grateful and pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. 'Tis only right that this discussion be conducted in person. We are locked in a war of attrition. Our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers, and it is only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. It is reassuring to learn we are all in accord. But, might I ask what your plan entails? It hinges entirely on the warding skills and your ability to utilize their potential to the fullest. During your time in Charlian, the Allied nations have been engaged on separate fronts with no end in sight. To make matters worse, a surge in adoptions of Kobold, Sahagan, Ixal, and Ananta have given rise to an increasing number of primals as well. But your triumphs at Radzat-Han have given us cause to hope once more. Time has come to free ourselves of this menace, and it is you, the scions of the 7th Dawn, who have shown us the way. While the bulk of our forces will continue to hold the Telephoroi at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart, Garlemald. These brave few will be the Ilsabard Contingent. To think such progress has been made in such a short a span. Its objectives are twofold. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. As previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered. Robbed of their free will, they serve the Telephoroi's every whim without question. They too are victims. It is our duty to deliver them from their suffering, not for strategic or political gain, but because it's the right thing to do. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I only ask that in choosing to remember, we do not also forsake our compassion and morality, for without that, there can be no reconciliation, only death without end. Aye, on that we can all agree. Our second objective is the colossal tower that Thancred and Urianger observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there's reason to believe the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Zot was toppled, we failed to make any headway, though the same could be said of the Telephoroi. They're certainly in no rush to press further into our lands. I'd wager the spire's primary purpose is to divide and keep us occupied, while they work towards our annihilation. This would appear to be substantiated by Y'shtola's analysis of the tower's influence on ethereal currents. Based on her observations inside the Tower of Zot, the spires siphon ether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than is required for this task alone. The excess ether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it is not being harnessed for our benefit. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was being redirected to the larger spire in the capital. There's a logic in that, regardless, once we have uncovered the truth. We'll bring their schemes crashing down along with their infernal towers. That's all well and good. But what would you have us do? I assume it's more than handing over the scales and being on our way. We want you and your scales to join the Ilsabard Contingent. Consider it an official request from both the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance. Do you accept? Well, yeah. Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. Can I say no? For honor and glory. I don't really like the other two. Couldn't have put it better myself. Y'shtola, Thancred, and Urianger have already pledged their support and are on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Luckily for all involved, their prediction was correct. Once you have delivered the warding scales to Alamigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilsabard. Raban and Lord Aymeric are overseeing preparations, so I suggest you make yourselves known upon arrival. Pack warm clothes, furs, and the like. Without it, the cold will do you in before the Telephoroi so much as draw steel. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. They're not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now go safe in the knowledge Eorzea will be as you left it, or better, upon your return. I must quiz Thancred and Urianger on the conditions we can expect in Garlemald. I know it's cold, but how cold? Will I need to keep my ears covered? They can be a bit sensitive at times. Aww. I'll admit, this is all rather daunting, though not quite in the way I was expecting. We'll be standing shoulder to shoulder with our alliance's finest, the best of the best, the warrior of light, and, well, me. It's silly, I know. Perhaps this is my way of distracting myself from the part I should be worried about, marching into Garlemald. If Aymeric asks after me, say I'm getting on fine and leave it at that. Don't you dare breathe a word about the court. Fancy meeting you here. I trust our mutual friend is settling into life as a scion. Collaboration was never his forte. The moment the fighting ended, off he'd go, like the Gallicat swept up in a strong breeze. Well, rest assured, he will always be there when you need him. Probably. You know, I'm quite looking forward to seeing who's being selected for the Ilsabard contingent. I have a few people in mind. Care to make a friendly wager? Let me think. Lise? Maybe. Maybe Minago. Maybe some Fortomp Knights. Fordola. I don't know about are involved, but is that a... Oh, that's the new hairstyle on Bunny Girl. That's really cute. Okay. I don't know, Alice. My mind is drawing a blank. I should know. I'm gonna guess Lise. I'm gonna guess... Artorial from Count Artorial. I'm gonna guess, Oh! Hori Boulder and Cortino. Maybe the others. I don't know. Let's find out. Well, obviously, Raban and Aymeric. Oh, Yugiri. The Wanderers return. You've been busy bringing down a tower and producing the keys to destroying the rest of them. You should be proud. Those warding skills of yours are what's made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord Aymeric be leading the contingent? Regrettably, no. Our role is to organize the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we have seen you all off, it's back to our respective posts. We dare not neglect our duties for too long, lest our defensive efforts fall into disarray. And just between us, there was a fair amount of opposition to the formation of the Ilsabard Contingent. The very suggestion that we send some of our finest troops behind enemy lines to render aid unto Garleans has made me rather unpopular in certain quarters. Can't please them all. Sadly not, though I do my best. Truth be told, I'd much rather be at your side charging into the fray. Alas, I've battles of my own to fight, where words may serve me better than any blade. I'd hate to say it, but Lord Aymeric's struggles mirror my own. For the time being, the best we can offer you is peace of mind from knowing Eorzea is in safe hands. As you fight the good fight in Ilsabard, I, and the other commanders, will do what we can to convince the naysayers that our cause is just. Oh, I bet Hilda will be there. Thank you, both of you. We meet again. Oh, who is it? Much has occurred since we parted ways in Welwit. From what I gather, the protective talismans you obtained led to the formation of this expeditionary force. I should have known. I don't like it, but I should have known. My contribution on this occasion is but a minor one, that being the information I have shared with Maxima. For the sake of the people of Garlemald, my fates be on your side. Oh, you're not coming? Okay, cool. So you're not coming with us. What a relief. Strange, I thought you'd have a stake in this. I do. The Telephoroi have laid waste to my homeland and enslaved my people. But though every mote of my being cries for vengeance, I cannot be the one to deliver it. My presence alone would place the entire mission in jeopardy. I stand accused of murdering Emperor Varus and plunging Garlemald into chaos. Were I to travel with the Ilsabard Contingent, it would give my countrymen ample cause to question our motives. Conversely, those who believe me innocent may instead celebrate the return of a former legatus and attempt to raise me to a position of leadership, further destabilizing the region and complicating the contingent's mission. Whether I am branded a villain or hailed a hero, I would only hinder your efforts. I doubt they'll be pleased to see the champion of Eorzea set foot on Garlean soil. A fair point, but so long as you refrain from announcing your arrival to all the sundry, the average person should have no inkling as to your identity. Although your titles and deeds are common knowledge, only a select few would recognize you on sight alone. Perhaps one day they will learn that the Warrior of Light is not a demon to be feared, but a woman deserving of their trust. Thanks, Gaius. In light of Gaius's rather unique circumstances, I, instead, will assume the role of your guide. Okay. Though I may have defected for political reasons, my love for Garlemald endures. I would stop at nothing to protect her and her people. Well said. Might I ask you to escort our friends inside? Yeah, sure, this guy can come. Maxima. You might even bump into an old acquaintance or two, and if I don't see you again ere you depart, may the Fury guide and protect you, all of you. Okay. I do think Hilda will be in there. I just have a feeling. I suppose it's easy for some people to forget there are civilians in Garlemald too, when the only Imperials they've ever known are soldiers. Yes. With the knowledge that our allies will hold the line in our absence, we may devote our attention to the Ilsabarian front. Like Gaius, I too stand accused of Varus' murder, though I am rather less recognizable on sight. Still, it's something to bear in mind once we reach Garlemald. I neglected to mention earlier that we received a report from our troops that may be of interest to you. While engaged with the Lunar Primal, a great worm swooped down from the skies and came to their aid. This worm, as described, was the spitting image of Tiamat. It seems she, too, continues to wage war against Telfaroy. Nice. Once we've seen the contingent on its way, I will return to my duties here in Alamigo. As many of our most capable will be traveling with you to the Garlemald, we who remain will have to fight that much harder to make up the difference. But let no man say, I do not welcome the challenge. Aye, this old bull isn't ready to hang up his horns yet. What if it's like Job Quest people? What if it's like Sidguru? Or Ixrun? So that's Gaius Balezar. The horrors he must have seen. Many of his own making, I do not doubt. Yeah, get his ass. I hate Gaius. Regardless of how my countrymen receive you, the cold will not treat you kindly. Underestimate it at your peril. Okay, quest. Mystery prize. Ooh. The other members of the Ilsabard Contingent are gathered in the royal palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way inside as soon as you are ready. It would be pretty fucking cool if it was like Sidguru and Ixrun, honestly. The remaining member of the Scions, your friends and most of the Ilsabard Contingent, awaits you within. Would you like me to see you through? Yeah, let's go. I want to see who it is. I want it to be Sidguru and Ixrun.
By the 12.
Oh, that guy. Oh, wait, that's Guidalot and Sanson.
Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
As you can imagine, our traveling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose. We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the efforts of the Ilsabard Contingent.
Okay, there's lots of job quest people here. Amanelaine? Oh my god, Estinian's dad is here. Kaidala and Sanson, wow. I'm trying to see if I see any other notable people. That guy from the pirates? Pippin? Stephanian? Amanelaine! That's a character. I knew Lise would be here.
Indeed, which is
Yes!
why I'm glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included.
Oh, hell yeah!
Lucia!
I have come at the behest of Lord Emmerich, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone! If I may have your attention. Might I ask you to speak first?
If I must.
Do all these characters have voice acting now? There's so many job quest people here, and not Siguru or Ixrun. Oh man.
I am Arun Senai, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation. Here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer, we shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild, with the Order of the Twin Adder's Finest serving as our escort. Of course, with an experienced white mage such as yourself accompanying us as well, those requiring more involved treatment will be in safe hands. Raya O sends her regards, by the way.
Oh, how nice.
Suppose I'd better say my piece.
Oh, this guy.
Wait, I know you.
You're the guy who embarrassed me in front of my friends.
The name's Sicard, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd rather you had forgotten. Any road, the Admiral asked Captain Hilfier to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me. Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughing stock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you gotta trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but a promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do. Since we all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy. Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Well, you're certainly raring to go. Then again, so are we. The most dependable warriors of Uldar and Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest. If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Terrapin and I will be leading from the front.
It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield.
From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Latoya, the Avatar of Destruction.
Thanks, Lise.
With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us. And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest. But until then, let's give it our all.
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead. Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Ilsabard Contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require. The four high houses, House Hylinard foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature, together with the smiths of Limpsa Lominsa. There is another awaiting introduction.
Manelaine? What are you doing here? Are you going to die with your brother? I hope you don't die, Manelaine!
Ah, yes. Manelaine de Forton, at your service. Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away. Rather, far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that. But, should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of light.
Oh, thank God this asshole's here! I guessed Artorial because I thought a Manelaine wouldn't make sense, and now look who has egg on their face. It's me. I dare say your fancy footwork may be all that stands between us and certain doom.
Huzzah! I cannot wait to regale Honoroa with my tales of daring do.
He's gonna die. God, he's gonna die.
That concludes introductions for the Grand Company of Eorzea.
Oh my God.
Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
Well, Yugiri is definitely there. Probably a few from the Azim Steppe. Oh God, what if Magnai and Sadu both show up?
Would that be the Shinobi of Doma?
Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various Eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead.
Oh my God, the Zayla of the Steppe are coming.
Out of my way, you preening fool!
Yes! Oh my God. Oh no.
Forgive us for coming late. We are the delegates of the Eastern Alliance.
Cyrena, and you've brought company.
For battle and blood we come, as the steppe is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our land, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach.
I am so mad that I don't have a tower to fight. I am so mad. I just want to fight. I just want a bunch of towers so bad, and that's why I'm here.
But now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked. No quarter to the enemy! Sadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
Warriors of the Steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. and these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group, Lente's Tears.
And the Bosnian resistance. Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities. Which is fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Alamigo. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire. I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald. And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy. But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth. They're just people. No different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all. Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Eorzean here knows Cid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Gaius bloody Baelsar himself is working to help rebuild Wurlit, a nation he once conquered. So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy, but we're all determined to make this world a better place.
What lingering concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Then we are in accord. Now, let us review our strategy. To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garlund Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey. However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi. As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers. From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us, so it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
Well, that's what you think. This is exciting. Wow. Not the job NPCs I wanted, but really exciting that there's job NPCs here at all. And how come there's no comments about Estinian's adopted dad being here? Like, does no one have anything to say about that? They don't even give the man voice acting. So many characters to talk to. Oh my god, where do I even start? Just kidding, I start with Graha. This is extraordinary. To be in such company, the finest our allies have to offer, with comrades such as these, we are bound to succeed, I'm certain of it. I did not expect to see the other former Azure Dragoon here of all places. As he well knows, I'm not one for verbose greetings. We shall instead let our lances do the talking once we are on the battlefield. Then we'll see if the other has been diligent in his training. That's your dad. We've been part of joint military operations like this before, and with far greater numbers, but for some reason this feels very different to our previous experiences. Despite having shared little more than introductions, there's already a palpable sense of camaraderie. I feel like my throat is gonna burst if I read all these lines out loud, so I'm gonna read them sparingly. Oh, I was half expecting the man who taught me red magic amongst our number, but he's nowhere to be seen. I wish he was here. I suppose he had his share of unpleasant experiences with the Empire, but so have we all. Perhaps there's some other reason. Well, in any case, I have a feeling I'll see him again once this is all over. I'm sure he'll be pleasantly surprised by how much my swordplay's improved since we last met. Man, Alice, you're putting words to my thoughts. I wish so bad XIV was here. Would I be correct in assuming those ladies over yonder are Sirena and Sadu of the Steppe? Perhaps I should introduce myself, though I don't much like the look of that fellow with the enormous axe. Oh my god. Ah, though we hail from different tribes, my bond with Sirena has grown strong of late. She is much better company on a hunt than any of the Steppe's oafish men could dream to be. Ah. 2 suns, one burning red, the other frozen black. Closer they circled, closer and closer. And as they danced, the world fell into ruin. In blinding chaos, she spied blackened silhouettes, and knew at once that one was yours. But we knew not how to interpret this dream, save it as a sign that a great danger awaits. But whatever lies ahead, I will walk with you, traveler. Besides the delegates assembled here, the Amalja and several other tribes offered to send troops of their own. Unfortunately, due to the physiology, many would struggle to simply survive in the harsh climates of Ilsabard. They would also likely prove tempting targets for abduction by the Telephoroi. All things considered, they can better aid the cause by bolstering our defenses in Eorzea, though their eagerness to do more has been noted. We few shall have to suffice. Ere we embark, we must distribute the warding skills to our comrades. Care to do the honors? Oh, I just went around talking to everybody. Now I have to do it again. This guy is gonna die. This guy right here is gonna die. So the mystery gift is a coat. To face off against Ilsabard's cold terrain. Since my revival, I've been lax in expanding my limited wardrobe. Think we have time for a quick trip back to Old Charlian? I recall a rather fetching coat. Aw. Preparations. I've got my armor and my lance. What more could I need? If you've anything you still need to take care of, you'd better see to it now. This coat is quite warm, but I have something rather thicker for occasions like these. There's no telling how long we'll be out in the open, and we can't go starting fires willy-nilly if we want to avoid detection. It's something of a constant refrain that we require warmer clothing. My present garb may be lacking, fur collar notwithstanding. Precautions to fortify the flesh against wind and cold are commonly sold in the Uldan markets, though they are of dubious provenance and efficiency. 'Tis said, however, that in recent days the Alchemist Guild hath produced a tincture capable of such a feat. Mayhap the achievements of their Thavnarian counterparts did spur them into action, that they may not be put to shame. Okay, Alpha, no, give me my coat. Wait, did I talk to Alice? Oh, yeah, okay. Alpha, no, give me my coat. I hope it's cute. This is our last chance to make ready before we set forth. You needn't worry about Urianger and I. We still have what we wore in Garlemald before. Estinian claims to be quite warm and toasty beneath his armor. Since he spent a fair bit of time up north recently as well, I have no reason to doubt his words. Most of the others will be borrowing Grand Company stock. The rest of you could do likewise, I suppose, provided you're not overly concerned with style. Not to put too fine a point on it, but I wouldn't be sitting dead in one of those ridiculous overcoats. If only I had time to find something to my liking. Hark! Is that the cry of scions in need of a tailor I hear? That's Tataru! 100% that's Tataru! Is she coming with us? But how? Mwahaha, I have my ways. Oh yes, indeed. You thought you could sneak off to Ilsabard without telling me? Huh, nothing escapes my notice. Tataru! Now, you will wear these garments I made for you, whether you like it or not. Aww. I want to see Graha in a coat. You never cease to amaze me. But why do you need a new outfit as well? Wait, are you coming with us? What? No, of course not, silly. It's all in the name of fashion. Rather the pursuit of the highest quality fashion. Besides, how can I expect others to wear my creations if I've never worn them myself? She's got a point. I wish she'd come with us, though. Ah, I did have one thing to share. Artemis and Bluinda have finally returned from assignments in faraway lands. They'll be staying at the Rising Stones for a while to keep an eye on events throughout Eorzea. Since they'll be running back at headquarters, I was wondering if I could lend a hand in Charlian. Oh, yes. Oh, why not? You could keep Kraut company in the Baltesian Annex. Yes, we'd love to have you there. And I heard Artemis and Bluida did a fine job carrying on in our stead while we were lying comatose. With them in charge of the Rising Stones, we have nothing to worry about. My thoughts exactly. Also, while I'm confident you won't go collapsing again because a certain someone who shall remain nameless isn't in a position to transport your souls to another world. If anything similarly disastrous were to happen, I'll be well positioned to do something about it. Anyway, I've got a few things to take care of, and then I'll make my way to Charlian. I really do hope these new clothes are enough to keep you warm in Garlemald. It's not much, but it's the only thing I can do for you, other than pray for your safe return, which I will every day. Let's not keep the contingent waiting any longer. So what does this coat look like? Here are your winter woolies, handcrafted by yours truly. North Sea coat. Let's get a load of this coat. Oh, I leveled up, by the way. Hee-haw. Let's put it on. Aw. Aw. It's cute. Let's get some dye for this coat. Actually, maybe I should put together... This coat is fine and all, but maybe I should put together my own Garlemald glam. What does this coat look like dyed, though? Oh, it's not that good. I look like Santa Claus. Okay, I'm gonna make my own glam.